What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting into my Horizon League conference tournament predictions. But before we get into this, just want to let you guys know I've came out with my my Missouri Valley Conference tournament predictions and my Patriot League predictions earlier today. If you want to check those out, also 5 other conference tournament predictions over the weekend if you're interested. But anyway, let's look at this bracket here. Let's just go down the list. So this bracket is different than some of the other for the other conferences for the Horizon League. It is like the NFL playoffs, if you know. So the winner, the first round, the winner of these games, the lowest seed would go here to play Youngstown State. So say the lowest seed is Green Bay or something. The worst team will go to play Youngstown State. The best team will play Cleveland State, best seed, and then the middle seed would play Milwaukee. And then it's the same for the semifinals. The highest seed goes up here. The lowest seed goes here, and then the middle teams go right there. And then obviously it doesn't matter for the next one. But anyway, that's how that works. So it's an interesting tournament style. I kind of like it. It gives the regular season a little bit more of a meaning to it. But yeah, anyway, let's look at let's look at these teams right here. Youngstown State finished at number 1, just barely a game ahead of the next few teams here. They finished 15-5 in conference play. And then number 2 seed, we got Milwaukee, who finished 14-6. We have a 3-way tiebreaker for 2 here. And then Cleveland State at number 3, 14-6, as well as Northern Kentucky at 4, at 14-6. So those are big there. Obviously, the seeding is pretty important in this tournament because say Youngstown State went down, a 2 seed could go and play the worst team, or you don't have to play, you don't have to play the best team out of this seed. So that's how that works. But then we have a bit of a gap at number 5 with Oakland, who finished 11-9 this season, finished 13-18 overall. So not a very good team overall, but did decent enough to get that bye at number 5 seed. In this first round, number 6, we have a tiebreaker for 6 and 7. Also a big thing because the highest team gets to play the 3 seed. So RMU and Wright State both finished 10-10. RMU barely owned the tiebreaker there, and then we also had a tiebreaker between 8 and 9, but it didn't matter because Detroit Mercy and Purdue Fort Wayne would play each other. Anyway, they finished 9-11. Those two, and then we also had a tiebreaker for 10-11, 2 teams that did not play well in conference play. 2-18 for Green Bay and 2-18 for IUP UI. Big name there. But anyway, let's get into these predictions here. And so I see I have it set up. Let's just start out with this game to make it easy. RMU against IUPUI. I just do not see that team pulling off the upset in IU. I'm just going to call them IU because I'm not saying that the whole time. But RMU, I think, can pull off the win there and advance on to the next round there. That is Robert Morris. And then we got Wright State against Green Bay. So this is a big game because whoever wins this one will either play. So if Wright State wins, they play Milwaukee. If Green Bay wins, they would play Youngstown State. Yeah, but Green Bay just finished the worst record in the conference at 3-28. Have lost 6 straight games, just not playing good. Yeah, I'm going with Wright State in this game. I mean, RMU and Wright State got it pretty easy. Obviously, you'd want a bye, but, I mean, you get to play 2 of the worst teams in this conference here. All right, and then this is where it gets tough. These 2 teams are neck and neck between Detroit Mercy and Purdue Fort Wayne. Obviously, like I said, both teams finished at 9-11 in conference play. Let's see when these. So Detroit Mercy just crushed Purdue Fort Wayne earlier this year, here in this month, and I don't believe they played. Yeah, they did not play before, so that was just the one game. I think that Purdue. I'm going to go with Purdue Fort Wayne here, though. I think that they could get their revenge on Detroit Mercy. as a slight 9/8 upset. But anyway, that is the first round. So now we got the second round, and still the same thing applies here. The top seed, then the lowest seed, and then the middle teams in down there. But Youngstown State against Purdue Fort Wayne. Let's see. Purdue Fort Wayne against Youngstown. Could this be a potential huge upset scenario? Youngstown State beat them earlier this year. They did not play. Oh, they did. Purdue Fort Wayne beat Youngstown State in December. I'm feeling it, guys. Why not? Let's go with an upset pick here. Youngstown State had a really good season, but I think that this could be a conference that could happen anywhere. Any team can win this tournament in the Horizon League. Let's give Purdue Fort Wayne a huge upset pick there. Actually, they would go right here. But yeah, Purdue Fort Wayne, man. Watch out for obviously the Purdue teams are pretty darn good this season. Let's go with Purdue Fort Wayne to win this one and pull off an upset against Detroit Mercy and then beat Youngstown State for probably the biggest upset I've done so far in these conference tournaments. But moving on to Milwaukee, it's Wright State, so that means if Milwaukee can win this one, they would play Purdue Fort Wayne right here. And if we look at Milwaukee, they finished 14-6 in conference play. Wright State is still a good team, but I'm going to have to go with Milwaukee in this one. I just don't see the upset happening. Then we got Cleveland State against RMU. I don't think that RMU is going to be able to win, so I'm going to go with Cleveland State to advance, and then Northern Kentucky versus Oakland for a spot in the semifinal game. These two teams, I think that Northern Kentucky, it is a 4-5, but Northern Kentucky is clearly the better team. So I'm going to have them. I could have just clicked it, but I was so used to doing that. But anyway, for a spot in the championship game, we got Milwaukee against Purdue Fort Wayne, and I do think this is where Purdue Fort Wayne's run is going to come to an end. Milwaukee, a good 2 seed there. I think that they can win. And then we got a good matchup here between Northern Kentucky against Cleveland State. Both teams finished with the same record this year. Cleveland State won by a point on the 19th of this month, and Northern Kentucky won by a point. So these two have been neck and neck all season long. It's just been the home team that's gotten the advantage just by a point. I mean, it's been a exactly even game differential between those two. I'm going to go with Northern Kentucky, though. I just have a feeling that the Northern Kentucky is going to be able to win this game. I honestly think that they might have it easier in the first round anyway against Oakland. So I'm going to go with Northern Kentucky. Oops. Spoiler alert, if you wanted to watch my Patriot League conference tournament, did not mean, forgot to click that off. But anyway, moving on over here, Milwaukee against Northern Kentucky, a 2 versus a 3 seed. Who do I have winning it? I'm going with the 4 seed, Northern Kentucky, going back to the tournament here. Let's give Northern Kentucky some love. And this is a wild bracket, Horizon League. I kind of like it. Fun tournament here. I'm excited to be watching some of these games here. I mean, I like the seeding effects that it has. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. A big upset here. Youngstown State and Northern Kentucky comes out on top. But anyway, guys, peace out.